Hi, I'm Travis McAuley, Executive Chef from Hellenic Republic, and welcome to chefmasterclasses.com. Today we're going to be making Flaounes. They're Cypriot Easter Breads. Starting at the back, we have pecorino cheese, we have halloumi cheese, and we have your everyday tasty cheese. We've got some sultanas, some self-raising flour, some eggs, we've got some sesame seeds, we've got some dry yeast, we've got some mahalepi. Mahalepi is a seed inside the cherry pip that they dry and they grind to a powder, and they use it in a lot of Middle Eastern baked goods. We've got some ground cinnamon, and we've got some mastic beads, which is the sap from a tree in Chios. And it's got a very sort of pine flavour. Okay, now to assemble this dish, we're going to add all of our cheeses together. We're going to add our sultanas, our self-raising flour, our sesame seeds, our dry yeast, our cinnamon, and our mahalepi. Okay. And then what we're going to do, we're going to just crush those mastic beads up because they won't dissolve into everything. And then we can add those. Mix all this together. Now you might think sultanas and cheese, a bit of a weird combination, but it actually adds a lovely sweetness to the dish. The flavours just come together really, really well. Then we're going to add our milk, and we're going to add our cracked eggs. We're going to mix all this together, leave this to sort of almost sort of prove and ferment overnight. And that's why we've got the dry yeast in there. We've got the little bit of the sweetness from the sugar to help feed the yeast. And the next day, we're going to finish our Flaounes. The yeast is in there to help it to sort of almost prove and sort of help with the fermentation of it. Now, you don't need to leave it overnight. You can leave it for at least 8 hours for it to prove. Now, this one we've prepared earlier, 8 hours ago, and as you can see, it's come together. The flavours have all it's fermented and it's all become really, really beautiful. So to finish this mix off and just to add nice freshness to the dish, we're going to add some beautiful mint. Now we're just going to gather all this up. Just julienne this roughly. Doesn't need to be too perfect. Just mix that through, just to finish that off. The next step we're going to do is we're going to make the pastry that's going to encase this beautiful cheese mixture. Okay, so the best way to do it, we're going to add our flour. Okay, so we've got our 500 grams of flour. We've got 75 grams of diced butter, and we have 75 grams of extra virgin olive oil, and we're just going to add a pinch of salt to that as well. We're just going to blend this and bring it together till it forms fine breadcrumbs. Okay. Now we're just going to add ice cold water to bring all this together. Okay. Just until it starts to clump together. And now we're going to take it out and we're going to finish kneading it on the bench. Okay, now we're just going to tip this out onto a floured bench. Okay, and we're just going to bring it together, but we don't want to overwork it. Okay, and just really quickly. That's literally all it needs. And then all we're going to do, we're going to put this in. We're going to wrap it with cling film. We're going to put it in the fridge and let it relax for half an hour. Our dough has now rested for half an hour. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide this into 8 with the back of a knife, so we don't leave scratches on our bench. Okay, and they'll be roughly 100 gram balls each. And now I'm going to show you how to put them all together. Now we're just going to keep our bench with a little bit of flour on there. You don't need too much. And we're just going to roll these. We're just going to roll these out, just so they're, I guess, the size of a saucer. No, mini pizza, a saucer. All right. Now we're just going to brush them with some, we've just beaten up some egg. So we're just going to brush those lightly with some of the egg. Then we're just going to put it into the sesame seeds and just coat the bottom of those, and you'll see they'll stick up nicely. Now we're just going to pop this back onto our bench, seed side down. We're just going to give it a light brush again. And then we're going to take a spoon of our cheese mixture, and we're just going to pop that in the middle. Be quite generous, because we want lots of that cheese mixture in there. Now we're just going to bring up the edges, almost like an old beef Wellington, and just almost enclose that cheese mixture. We want to leave it open a little bit so you can see some of that cheesy goodness. And then we're just going to pop that straight onto our tray. We've just got a piece of baking paper on there. At this point, you can actually pop them into the freezer. I'd freeze them loosely, and then once they're frozen, you can put them into an airtight container. But we're going to bake ours straight away and eat them straight away too. So we're going to put this into a preheated oven, 180 degrees, for approximately 15 to 20 minutes until they're golden brown. Fantastic. See, they're nice and golden brown. And that's our Flaounes. What can I say? They're just yum. Good for breakfast, good for brunch, good for lunch. Yeah, just enjoy.